Time passed day by day. Red Dawn planet space was peaceful. Suddenly there was a ripple in space and a blood-colored triangular universe ship appeared. Your Majesty, ahead is Red Dawn planet. Within the control room, Dylan pointed ahead. Luo Feng stood there. Behind him there were 5 World Overlord bodyguards. Luo Feng smiled and nodded. Let's go meet the undyings of the Golden Horn tribe. So, the UNMO planet ship swiftly rushed into the atmosphere of Red Dawn planet, activating its stealth system. Without alerting the planet's security system or the people on the planet, the UNMO planet ship had already landed in the Virtual Universe Company's base. Within the vast villa, the 9 Golden Horn tribesmen stood there, looking at the blood-colored triangular universe ship. This is AF-grade universe ship. The armored youth's eyes gleamed. He was so excited his green skin was gleaming with silver light, and it should be made of hybrid copper essence. Such a ship made entirely of hybrid copper essence. Just how much resources must be spent on it? This Luo Feng, he's really a rich man. The 7 official level undyings of the Golden Horn race's Pagoda Squadron had their eyes filled with desire too. Only the gold-armored old man smiled as he watched. At this time, this old man wasn't wearing a helmet. Work hard. When you all have Emperor-level strength, the race will help you all get AF-grade universe ship. The old man looked at the 7 official level undyings beside him and said, as a vassal race, the resources the Golden Horn race received naturally paled in comparison to the humans. Humans' official level undyings pretty much all had AF-grade universe ship. As for the Emperor level, a few million mixed elements were nothing to them. However, the Golden Horn race was different. Within the Golden Horn race, only those with Emperor-level undyings could have AF-grade universe ship. As for official-level undyings, only a very small number of people had that kind of glory. Hua! The cabin door opened. Under the gaze of the 9 members of the Golden Horn race, the silver-armored black-haired youth brought the black-robed Undying guards and 5 Sector Lord guards and flew out of the cabin, following which the enormous UNMO planet ship vanished into thin air. The Golden Horn clan's Pagoda Warden Elder, Si Fan Chi, has led his team to welcome the humans' envoy, His Majesty Luo Feng. The gold-armored old man nodded at Luo Feng. The golden mark on his forehead flashed. The other 8 beside him all bowed. Simultaneously the golden marks on their foreheads also flashed. Elder Si Fan Chi, you're welcome. Luo Feng smiled as he walked over. At the same time, his gaze swept across the other 8, creasing his eyebrows. Elder, why is there an extra person? Your Majesty Luo Feng. The golden-armored old man smiled and pointed at the sturdy armored young man. This is the only son of the leader of the Pagoda Dwarves, Kashna. It has been more than 100,000 years since he was born, but he has never left his hometown. This time I followed my team out to explore the universe and gain some experience. I hope your highness can forgive me. Luo Feng nodded and smiled, looking at the armored youth. Kashna, it's nice to meet you. The armored youth's eyes were filled with excitement. His green skin gleamed with silver light, saying, Your Majesty Luo Feng, seeing you, I'm very excited and happy too, thank you. Luo Feng obviously realized that this armored youth's words were a little silly. It wasn't strange. The flesh and blood life forms in the universe were the strongest among the many life forms. This was because the intellect of the flesh and blood life forms were extremely high. Like the plant life forms, even Sector Lord level plant life forms couldn't compare to a normal human's thinking speed. Like the Golden Horn race as a rock life form, their brains weren't smart enough. Of course, the Domain Lord and Sector Lord levels' intellect wasn't any lower than a normal human's. However, if they were to learn the human universe language and speak, it wouldn't be strange if they seemed silly. Your Majesty Luo Feng, let's go inside and discuss the details of this mission. The gold-armored old man said. Luo Feng nodded, walking shoulder to shoulder with the gold-armored old man into the living room. Dylan and the other 7 official-level undyings walked in together. Within the living room, Luo Feng and the large group sat down. Looking at the Golden Horn race members before them, their looks were still very similar to humans. However, upon closer inspection one could still feel the difference between them and humans. Like their voices, it was like the clashing of metal. According to the mission the Virtual Universe Company gave us, this time we have to deal with 2 undyings, an official level called Yao Hai and a normal upper-level general level called Jeffries. The gold-armored old man smiled. We've already discussed internally, I'll bring 3 official-level clansmen to deal with the official-level target Yao Hai. And the other 4 official-level clansmen will work together to deal with the upper-level General Jeffries. We definitely won't let them escape, we'll definitely succeed in killing them. Luo Feng smiled and nodded. The Virtual Universe Company's arrangements were indeed not bad. After all, there was an Emperor-level undying in the team. Actually, there was no other way. Defeating a god was easy, however killing one was very troublesome. Most of the time, the most they could do was seal the undying or make them fall into a deep slumber. And to actually kill an undying was 10 to 100 times harder than defeating them. This was also why they sent such a strong team. I have no objections to Elder Si Fan Chi's arrangements. Luo Feng smiled as he looked at the 9-man team from the Golden Horn race. If the 2 undyings targets are at 2 different locations, then we'll do it that way. However, if it's anything else, we'll have to be more flexible. The gold-armored old man nodded. There's one thing I need to make clear. Luo Feng looked at the 9 before him. During the mission, I need the 9 of you to completely listen to my orders. You cannot act on your own. This we understand, the mission is more important. The gold-armored old man nodded. Very good. LuoFeng nodded. Then let's head out now. Head out now. The armored youth stared. Immediately, the golden-armored elder and the other 7 marquee clansmen all looked over. The armored youth was so frightened that he chuckled subserviently. From what I see, your clansman Kashna should follow by my side. LuoFeng smiled. I don't want any slip-ups. I want to follow teacher. The armored youth said. No problem, your majesty, LuoFeng. The gold-armored old man replied, simultaneously looking coldly at the armored youth, causing him to lower his head and obey. Immediately, LuoFeng and the group sat in 2 universe ships and left Red Dawn planet, heading towards the capital planet of the Dream Underworld Empire. The Yun-Mo planet ship and the Golden Horn race's Pagoda Squadron ship both moved forward simultaneously. And LuoFeng's consciousness entered the virtual universe network, arriving at his villa in the primal region of Yuxiang Mountain. I need accurate information, the targets Yao Hai and Jeffries' exact location. LuoFeng sat before his desk, his expression ashen as he looked at the laptop screen before him. On it was a jade-haired beauty that could move one's soul. Your Majesty LuoFeng, Jeffrey is currently on the capital planet, however Yao Hai hasn't appeared at all, we suspect he's in his God Country. The jade-haired lady said respectfully. Bullshit. LuoFeng roared coldly, if he's in his God Country, how do we kill him? We can't find his God Country, and he can use it any time to head to an extremely distant region. I'm not asking you for the reason, I only need the results. I want you to give me an accurate planet's location, simultaneously you have to ensure that Yao Hai is on that planet. The jade-haired lady was drenched in cold sweat. I know your intelligence system, it's huge and requires many responsibilities, I'm afraid you have to do many things at the same time. However, the importance of my mission isn't low, if there's no results. LuoFeng roared, I can only report your incompetence to the headquarters and I'll personally handle it. 3 days, the last 3 days, after 3 days you have to give me an accurate answer. Yes, your majesty. The jade-haired lady was respectful, not even daring to raise her head. After which the communication was cut. LuoFeng sat in front of his desk, his nostrils flaring. Don't be angry, this is very normal, the virtual universe company is such a huge power, its intelligence system is extremely huge, simultaneously dealing with 1008 universe country matters, I'm afraid with other races probing information, assassinations, espionage etc., it'll all take up a lot of energy. Your matter is probably very low in importance, hence they won't spend too much energy on it. Babata muttered. I know. LuoFeng said indifferently. The time limit of the mission was 1 year. The virtual universe company's intelligence department naturally knew of the time limit, hence they weren't too anxious at the start, those 120 million people's locations and other detailed information could be easily obtained. However, an undying that might be hiding within a God Country, the intelligence department had no way of finding him, naturally they couldn't be bothered to spend more energy. As long as they provided the exact location within the time limit, it wouldn't be considered a failure. As for whether or not LuoFeng could complete it, they couldn't be bothered. With the virtual universe company's intelligence system, if they can't find that Yao Hai, then can't they just lure him out? LuoFeng laughed coldly, any random powerful undying gathering send out invitations and at the same time invite Yao Hai. Wouldn't Yao Hai appear then? There are many ways. It's just that they don't want to spend too much energy. 3 days later. LuoFeng's Yun-Mo planet ship, the Golden Horn race's Pagoda Squadron ship, even the 9th Army's 30 incomparably huge interstellar battleships, were all parked on a mineral planet about 1,200 light-years away from Dream Underworld Empire's capital planet. The moment the time was right, they could swiftly travel through the universe. Within an hour they would arrive at the capital planet. The 9th Army's 30 interstellar battleships, that was 30 armies. An official level undying, 30 undying generals, 3,000 sector lords, 30,000 domain lords, 300,000 universe-level warriors. The reason why they arranged so many people was because of the 120 million target, close to 30 million of them were on the capital planet, and many of them were important people. The intelligence department still hasn't given me Yao Hai's exact location. LuoFeng stood within the control room of the Yun-Mo planet ship, looking at the desolate mineral planet outside, his eyes filled with rage. LuoFeng, Virtual Universe Network call request, it's from the intelligence department. Babata's voice resounded in his mind. The blood-red triangular universe ship stopped on a mountain on this desolate mineral planet. In the other regions of this mineral planet, there were another 30 gigantic interstellar battleships, as well as a small Golden Horn Pagoda Squadron ship. The core of all these spaceships was obviously the Yun-Mo planet ship. In a restaurant on the Yun-Mo planet. How long do we have to wait? The armored young man who was eating in the restaurant shouted impatiently, that so-called intelligence department doesn't give us accurate information. We don't even know where the target is right now, so there's no way for us to act. Are we just going to keep waiting? Be quiet. The golden armored elder at the dining table glanced at him. Wait for orders, the tall and skinny 9th Army general said coldly. The intelligence department doesn't care about your complaints. The armored youth pouted. Footsteps. The 9th Army leader and the gold-armored old man turned almost simultaneously. Immediately, the cabin door in the distance automatically opened and a silver-armored Luo Feng smiled. Behind him followed the undying Dylan and walked in with big steps. Seeing LuoFeng smile, the 9th Army leader and the gold-armored old man couldn't help but laugh. There seems to be good news, the armored youth muttered to himself. Friends? LuoFeng laughed loudly. Right now our undying Yao Hai is having a banquet here on the capital star. Haha, that's great. The armored youth jumped up in excitement. The golden armored elder and the 9th Army commander stood up as well. I didn't expect the intelligence department to be so efficient. The 9th Army leader smiled. Beside him, the gold armored old man laughed. I guess they wouldn't dare to slight your majesty, LuoFeng. Go, follow me to the control room. LuoFeng ordered. Immediately. The head commander LuoFeng, Guard Dylan, the leader of the Pagoda Squadron, the golden armored elder Si Fanchi and Kashna along with the 9th Army leader, the entire upper echelons of this operation, were gathered in the control room of the Unimo planet ship. Standing in the control room, LuoFeng looked at the vast and desolate scenery of the mineral planet, saying coldly, Pagoda 1 Team, the 9th Army's 30th Army, our target is the Dream Underworld Empire capital star, let's go. Yes. There was a total of 31 portraits on the control panel. They were the captains of the 30 interstellar battleships and the Pagoda Squadron spaceships. Boom. The Unimo planet ship and Pagoda symbol, these two ships, one in front and one behind, became two beams of light that shot into the sky and into space. Rumble. The earth quaked and the mountains shook. 30 gigantic interstellar battleships with a length of over 10,000 meters slowly rose into the air, following which their speed became faster and faster. Finally, they transformed into 30 streaks of light and directly flew into outer space. When Luo Feng led the universe army swiftly through the dark universe towards the Dream Underworld Empire capital star, it was bustling with activity within. The capital star had always been the economic center, the political center, where the highest echelons of the universe country gathered. Today, a grand banquet was being held in the capital star's royal palace. The guests were definitely the highest echelons of the Dream Underworld Empire. Second princess, I heard that the undying that came to our Dream Underworld Empire this time is a huge figure from the Ganwu universe country. A beautiful lady dressed in a purple suit held a wine glass and was chatting softly with another beautiful jade-haired lady in the corner of the banquet hall. Hence even the head ancestor has personally rushed over to welcome him. The head ancestor is welcoming him, that person should be an undying. The jade-haired princess's eyes gleamed. I've never seen an undying from a universe country before. Princess, you'll be able to see him in a while. The lady smiled. At this time, the banquet hall was already bustling with activity. The upper echelons of the empire who had arrived early were all discussing softly. A few beautiful ladies were looking for the youths they liked. Usually these high-level banquets were the best for the youths to meet. Outside the capital star. Wow. There seemed to be ripples in space. A blood-colored triangular universe ship appeared first, followed closely by the Pagoda universe ship and finally the incomparably huge interstellar battleships gathered in space. Your Majesty, that's the capital star of the Dream Underworld Empire. Dylan smiled and pointed ahead. Luo Feng looked over too. From space, the capital star of the Dream Underworld Empire seemed to be covered in a layer of mist, its entire body glowing a faint green. What a beautiful planet. Luo Feng complimented softly. It's a pity that it's going to be caught in the flames of war today. It can't be avoided. Dylan emphasized. This time they were going to kill the official level Undying Yao Hai and the upper level Undying Jeffries. As undyings that could casually affect the entire planet, the moment the operation began, the entire planet would undoubtedly be affected. Elder Si Fanchi. Luo Feng shouted. Your Majesty. The Pagoda Department Elder Si Fanchi listened attentively. In a while you'll lead a team to kill Yao Hai and Jeffries. Luo Feng said softly. I hope, if possible, to let the normal citizens live. Of course, the first goal is to kill those two undyings. Understood. Elder Si Fanchi nodded. Luo Feng looked at the beautiful planet in space, his gaze gradually becoming sharp. He ordered coldly, the 9th Army's 30th Army from space, lock down the entire capital star. During the operation, any ship that tries to escape from the capital star will be destroyed. Understood. 30 consecutive voices resounded at the same time. Move. Luo Feng ordered. Immediately, the 30 interstellar battleships that were originally surrounding the Yun-Mo planet ship began to disperse, preparing to surround the capital star from space, locking down the entire space region. Elder Si Fanchi, you all should move too. Luo Feng looked at Si Fanchi. Your Majesty, don't worry, my Pagoda team will definitely kill that Yao Hai and Jeffries. The gold-armored old man's eyes were filled with confidence. Remember, activate the live transmission with the virtual universe network. Luo Feng said. The transmission was able to instantly record the battle scene and send it to the virtual universe network. As this transmission was controlled by the virtual universe system, there was no way to fake it. Like the detailed process of the mission etc., it had to be done through the transmission. Understood. The gold-armored old man nodded. I'll leave everything to you, Elder. Luo Feng looked seriously at the old man. Killing the two of them is the most important part of this operation. If we fail it'll be a huge failure. We definitely can't let them escape. Elder Si Fanchi. I'll be here in space waiting for your good news. Let's go. Luo Feng watched the gold-armored old man leave. The gold-armored old man became a blur and swiftly flew out of the cabin door of the Yun-Mo planet ship, entering the Pagoda ship beside. Within the Pagoda ship was an Emperor-level Undying and 7 official-level Undyings. They swiftly became beams of light and flew towards the atmosphere of the capital star. Babata, the moment the battle begins, activate the long-distance broadcast. I need to see the entire battle process on the capital star. LuoFeng said. No problem. The virtual universe company's modified systems are extremely outstanding. We're very close to the capital star, we're completely within the scanning range. Babata shouted excitedly on the screen. Remember, only scan when the battle begins, otherwise we'll alert the enemy. Understood. LuoFeng looked silently at the peaceful and beautiful planet. He also looked at the 30 interstellar battleships, almost like 30 satellites orbiting the capital star. It's begun. LuoFeng took a deep breath. Within the banquet hall. The god leader has arrived. A loud voice resounded throughout the glorious banquet hall. The originally clamorous chatter within the hall instantly quietened down. The upper echelon of the royal family, all the important figures of the entire Dream Underworld Empire, they were all extremely humble and respectful as they waited. From the side door of the banquet hall, 3 silhouettes walked out. The formless ripples of the undying laws made the sector lords, domain lords, universe levels and many normal people feel pressured. Greetings, god leader. One sector lord knelt down first. Immediately everyone in the banquet hall knelt down and shouted loudly, Greetings, god leader. Their voices resounded throughout the banquet hall. Standing on the platform was a handsome man dressed in jade green armor. His forehead even had a unique crystal embedded in it. His entire person looked like the boy next door. This simple and innocent youth was actually the founding emperor of the Dream Underworld Empire, the head ancestor of the Yao Hai family. Yao Hai. He held the highest authority in the empire. Today I'm very happy. Yao Hai smiled. His voice resounded within everyone's ears and minds. Standing beside the platform were 2 other undyings. One of them was tall and sturdy with a pointy head. It was the number 2 figure of the empire, Yao Hai's disciple, the undying Jeffries. The other was dressed in a luxurious dark gold long robe. He had snow-white long hair and a smile on his face. His entire being was as dazzling as the sun. Because Lord Long-Chi heir from the universe country has come to our Dream Underworld. Yao Hai's voice stopped. He frowned. Even Jeffries and the snow-white-haired undying frowned and looked up. Because the 3 undyings felt the powerful god energy sweep past them. This was an extremely disrespectful action. The upper echelon within the banquet hall all looked up curiously. Haha, what a lively banquet. Hee, the humans really know how to enjoy themselves. Yeah, look at that little doll on the platform, haha. All sorts of ear-piercing voices like glass being scratched, resounded throughout the entire banquet hall, causing the upper echelon to cover their ears. The green-armored youth Yao Hai's eyes were ice-cold as he roared, impudent. Rumble. The sound wave far surpassed the speed of sound. Under the undying energy, it instantly shot towards the enemy who spoke outside the palace. With Yao Hai's ability he easily discovered that there were 3 huge law energies in the air above the palace. It was 3 undyings. What's going on? The snow-white-haired old man frowned. There's an enemy. The green-armored youth Yao Hai communicated. 3 of them, they're all very strong, however they don't feel like humans. Outsider invasion? The white-haired old man's rage surged. Humph, watch me deal with them, they dare barge into my human territory, they're looking to die. Yao Hai sneered and instantly turned into a green light that broke through the roof of the banquet hall. The building materials on the roof of the banquet hall were incinerated into nothingness. The moment the green light broke through the roof of the banquet hall, a completely black hammer glowed with a piercing gold light, suddenly appearing in front of the green rainbow. Ah! The green-armored youth Yao Hai's expression changed. He didn't even notice that the enemy had already charged in front of him. The huge black hammer seemed to have engulfed the entire space around it. It made one feel like the sky was falling. That terrifying pressure made Yao Hai have no confidence to resist at all. Emperor level. Yao Hai screamed at the same time waving his right fist. It looked like he was wearing a mesh-like glove. The 2 instantly clashed. Before the clash, be it the black hammer or Yao Hai's fist, they didn't cause any ripples. It was obvious that the energy was extremely condensed. However, the moment they clashed, rumble. At the point where the fist and the black hammer collided, it was as if a dazzling sun had been born. The terrifying heat generated from the collision alone caused the surrounding space to distort. The shockwaves generated from the collision of the incredibly powerful immortal force first destroyed the banquet hall below. The nobles of the empire and the elites of the royal family all screamed in fear as they were swept away by the shockwaves of the powerful immortal force, either turning into ashes or penetrating their bodies. The screams in front of the shockwave, all sound was completely isolated. The palace was 3,000 kilometers wide. The citizens outside the palace suddenly realized. The palace was extremely silent, as though even the sound of the wind was isolated. Boom. Closely after, the entire palace exploded. It was like a tidal wave, causing the entire palace to tremble violently. All the buildings were instantly reduced to rubble. The shockwaves contained undying energy. Even some unlucky world overlords who were affected by the shockwaves exploded and died. Look, the palace is exploding. The Imperial Palace, ah. Many residents of the Imperial Capital Star saw this nightmarish scene and felt the earth tremble beneath their feet. They were completely stunned. In the outer space of the Imperial Capital Star, the UNMO planet ship was floating in space. Scan the capital planet and broadcast the battle over. Within the UNMO planet ship control room, Luo Feng ordered. Yes, Babata replied excitedly. In the 3D projection, Luo Feng, the 9th Army leader, Dylan and Kashna were all looking at the screen. On the screen, 3 images appeared simultaneously. 2 of them were scenes of peace, the other one was of the palace that had been reduced to rubble. I wonder if that obsidian is dead, Kashna muttered. Yao Hai will definitely die. Luo Feng stared at the screen. Within the palace, the battle happened suddenly. The Emperor-level Undying Si Fan Chi had been lying in ambush from the start. Even though Yao Hai tried his best to defend, he was still smashed into smithereens by the hammer. Even his flesh and bones were completely shattered. Teacher. Jeffries' expression changed greatly. Outsiders, you dare to be arrogant in our human race. The white-haired old man's entire body glowed, almost like a star. Lord Long Chier, please help me save my teacher and kill those outsiders. Jeffrey shouted urgently. At this time, 3 powerful energies descended from the sky. Simultaneously, from another direction, they rushed over as fast as lightning. It was the 6 official-level Undyings that appeared at the same time. The 6 official-level Undyings rushed into the rubble. Yeah. Jeffrey roared and rushed into the sky. Outsiders die. The white-haired old man Long Chier roared and rushed too. Jeffrey immediately clashed with one of the official-level Undyings from the Golden Horn Race's Pagoda Squadron. The terrifying undying shockwaves caused the rubble of the palaces to be destroyed once more. Yeah. Jeffrey's expression was savage. Chi. A golden light instantly slashed across Jeffrey's waist, causing him to be sliced in half. Following that, an even stronger golden light descended, pouring onto Jeffrey's broken body, causing his body to emit a sizzling sound. His body was being corroded until it completely disappeared. Long Chier. Before he died, Jeffrey's roar reverberated throughout the palace ruins. Jeffrey probably wouldn't believe it even when he died. Long Chier would act against him. The white-haired old man stood in midair and laughed coldly. You dare betray humanity, die. Betray humanity? I didn't expect you to find out. A sharp voice resounded. In the distance, large amounts of undying energy gathered to form a blurry human silhouette. It was Yao Hai. Yao Hai stared venomously at the white-haired old man, and then at the Pagoda Squadron Undyings chasing after him. So, Yao Hai swiftly fled. Fleeing? I was waiting for you to condense your body. The old voice resounded. The gold-armored old man instantly blocked in front of Yao Hai. Teleportation? Yao Hai screamed, his face pale. In the distance, the white-haired old man Long Chier who was watching in midair laughed coldly. What an idiot. Betraying humanity and you think you can live? With the arrangements of the Virtual Universe Company, how could they give him any hope of escaping? However, this time, the foreign Undyings they sent are really strong. They're actually Emperor-level Undyings and they can already teleport. Yao Hai, you're dead for sure. In space. Within the UNMO planet ship, Luo Feng, the 9th Army leader, Dylan and Kashna watched the screen. It was displaying the battle scene. Jeffrey is dead? Luo Feng was shocked. He died just like that? It was very hard for an Undying to die. However, this Jeffrey, he died really quickly. Your Majesty. Dylan smiled. That Jeffrey's original body is a bit weaker, and he hasn't reached the level of a perfect Undying body. And the one who attacked him was Long Chier from the Universe Country. Long Chier, he's an official-level Undying proficient in the Light Origin Laws and Time Laws. Light Origin Law warriors are proficient in purification, combining time and light to form a time effect. To completely purify and destroy a normal Undying, it's not hard. Luo Feng nodded. However, killing Yao Hai is much harder. Dylan frowned at the screen too. Yao Hai has already reached the Undying body level. The 9th Army leader said solemnly, even if he's blasted into pieces, he can reform his body. To kill him, there are 2 common ways, one is to destroy and the other is to destroy his soul. However, that Elder Si Fan Chi from the Golden Horn race isn't proficient in the soul, then, there's only one way. Undyings, those that have truly reached the perfect Undying body level, were extremely hard to kill. Back then in Primal Chaos City, even the high and mighty Primal Chaos City leader couldn't kill those 2 Undyings. Of course, the main thing was that the city leader showed mercy. However, even so, that palm of his was still terrifying. The reason they didn't die was because of the terrifying aspect of Undyings. Normal Undyings, their spirit imprints and body cells weren't perfect. Hence, just killing them a few times in a row would be enough to kill them. And attaining the Undying body. Any cell fragment of an Undying, even if it's destroyed, it would reform, even the energy of the entire body wouldn't be consumed at all. Just relying on killing methods, even if you kill them hundreds or thousands of times, you still wouldn't be able to kill them. Instead, it would be much simpler to just seal them. Soul destruction, that was how Hu Yenbo died back then. Even though he didn't lose any energy, it was almost like he was poisoned. All his soul imprints were permeated. As time passed, his soul imprints would shatter. Naturally, he would die. To be able to do that, firstly the difference in power was huge, and secondly, one had to be proficient in soul attacks. An annihilation. It was purely energy consumption, destroying the opponent's undying energy into nothing. When an undying was completely annihilated, without a bit of energy left, naturally he couldn't be more dead. This sort of method, firstly had an overwhelming advantage and secondly, it required a shocking amount of undying energy. If the consumption was too high, it would severely affect one's own strength. Rumble. On the screen, 8 silhouettes surrounded one silhouette and fought. Ayo. See. Watching the undying Yao Hai roar from the screen, the crystal on his forehead emitted a visible jade-green light that shot in all directions. Immediately Dylan and the 9th Army leader in the control room were shocked. What's wrong? Luo Feng was shocked. The Bug Clan's soul attack method. Dylan emphasized. It's the same as a real Bug Clans. The 9th Army leader emphasized too. The battle continued. Under the encirclement of 1 Emperor-level Undying and 7 official-level Undyings, especially the Emperor-level Undying Elder Si Fan Chi, who was willing to sacrifice a large amount of his undying energy to destroy him. This Emperor Yao Hai's undying energy was constantly being destroyed, his body's strength was getting weaker and weaker. Finally, with an unwilling roar, his body crumbled. Congratulations, Your Majesty, Yao Hai is dead. His undying energy is already so weak that he can no longer condense his god body. Dylan smiled. Congratulations, Your Majesty. The 9th Army leader smiled too. Looking at the 1/5 of the capital planet that was in ruins, he ordered, "Move, begin killing the 120 million targets." With LuoFeng's order, not only did the 30 interstellar battleships begin to move, even the 700,000 universe warriors that were scattered across the other planets began to move too. Dream Underworld Empire Capital Star. After the great battle of hunting undyings, 1/5 of the capital star had been reduced to rubble, the other regions too suffered from the shockwaves, houses collapsed, people injured, etc. Sob, 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 sob. In a small town on the capital star, sobbing sounds could be heard everywhere, houses collapsed everywhere. However, the people's constitutions were stronger, at most they were injured, only a few died. Don't cry, be good, don't cry. Big brother, the house is gone. The little girl cried, her eyes red. The boy hugged the girl. Behind them stood a young couple. The young couple looked at the collapsed house in front of them and felt sad. Real estate on the capital star was very expensive. Their biggest asset was this house. Now that it had collapsed, after this matter, there would definitely be new rich families that would take back this land. Every disaster was a distribution of benefits. These people at the bottom would always be exploited. Big brother, look. The little girl stared wide-eyed, pointing into the distance. Ah. The boy too stared wide-eyed, looking dumbfounded at the distant sky. In the sky, an incomparably huge and pitch-black universe interstellar battleship. Its length over 10 kilometers long was like a majestic mountain floating in mid-air, covering the sun. And at the end of the horizon, there was another seemingly small, yet identical interstellar battleship descending. At this time, 30 interstellar battleships descended simultaneously, floating in mid-air above the capital star. With absolute control over the skies, anyone who tried to escape in a universe ship would be destroyed. My God. Universe interstellar battleships. On the capital star, one could see the distant huge and sinister interstellar battleships. These interstellar battleships that participated in the war outside the star region were many times stronger than normal battleships. Just the energy barrier formed by the 30 interstellar battleships covered the entire capital star, causing the people on the planet to be shocked. Big brother, there's a ship coming over. The little girl stared wide-eyed and shouted. Her brother, father, and mother all looked carefully. A blood-colored triangular universe ship slowly descended, directly passing through the energy barrier and finally landing in a plaza of the town. The people of the town watched with bated breath. They were very clear that to be able to directly pass through the energy barrier of the interstellar battleship without being attacked by the interstellar battleship, this universe ship definitely had an extraordinary background. Hua! The cabin door opened. Under the terrified gazes of the townspeople, the silver-armored black-haired youth led the 2 undyings behind him, Dylan and the 9th Army leader, and 6 sector lords, Kashna and LuoFeng's 5 sector lord guards, flying out of the cabin door and gently landing on the ground that had just been shaken. Whoosh! A figure appeared out of thin air. This was a dazzling figure shrouded in golden battle armor. He held a huge black hammer in his hand, and just by standing there, it was as if the entire world was trembling. Your Highness. The golden-armored old man smiled. Yao Hai is already dead. Yes. The black-haired youth nodded. This conversation was not deliberately shielded. Many residents of the small town who were staring at this were completely stunned. Yao Hai. Yao Hai was dead? As a resident of the Dream Underworld Empire, who didn't know that the Dream Underworld Empire's royal family was the Yao Hai family. And within the entire royal family, only one person dared to call himself Yao Hai. That was the founder of the family, an ancestor. And also their Dream Underworld Empire's greatest being, the founding emperor. The founding emperor was a god. He actually died? No. The townspeople were all stunned. However, they looked at the huge and malevolent interstellar battleship in the sky that made their hearts palpitate. Looking at the blood-colored triangular ship and the group of people around the black-haired youth that emitted unbelievable terrifying energy. If they didn't kill the founding emperor, why would they dare to seal the entire capital star, and the royal family didn't react at all? Logically, many people understood that this was the truth. So, a silhouette flew out from the townspeople. Ai fu. A low roar resounded in the air above the small town. The silhouette that was fleeing like lightning was frozen in midair. Only then did the black-haired youth and his subordinates fly over. Your Majesty Luo Feng. A clear and gentle voice resounded. I've seen the universe genius battle, I know it's you. But why did you capture me? The one frozen in mid-air was a beautiful brown-haired lady dressed in simple clothes. Her nose was very straight, her eyes slightly sunken in, her skin was a light green. Luo Feng and the others landed before her. "You traitor, my teacher is an emperor-level undying." In front of him, a sector lord like you wants to escape. The armored youth Kashina pointed at the brown-haired lady and roared. "Emperor-level undying?" The brown-haired lady Ai Fu was shocked. She tried her best to struggle, but how could she break free from the space shackles? "Your Majesty Luo Feng, why did you capture me?" The brown-haired lady Ai Fu looked at Luo Feng, seemingly wronged. "You only have 2 paths." Luo Feng looked at her. "1, fight me. If I can't kill you, you can live. 2, the other paths are all dead ends." Luo Feng couldn't be bothered to waste words with this lady. The brown-haired lady Ai Fu was frozen in mid-air, gritting her teeth as she looked at Luo Feng. She understood, even Yao Hai was dead, some of her secrets had probably been exposed. She was after all a strong warrior that had just broken through to Sector Lord, she couldn't be bothered to keep up the act. "Your Majesty Luo Feng, you said you want me to fight you? As long as I don't die I can live?" Ai Fu looked at him. "Right." Luo Feng nodded. "Can I trust your Majesty?" Ai Fu stared at Luo Feng. "Umph." Beside Luo Feng, Dylan snorted softly, saying coldly, "Your Majesty's reputation is much more valuable than your life." "All right." Ai Fu's eyes gleamed, "Then let's fight." Rumble. Immediately the space shackles dissipated, and a formless space barrier appeared in a 100m area. The golden armored old man Si Fanchi's voice was powerful. "Your Majesty, I've already set up a space barrier. A 100m long and wide space, it's for your Majesty and this lady to battle, it won't affect the surroundings." Luo Feng nodded. "Come." Ai Fu's originally simple clothes immediately began to change, condensing and becoming a sleek gray armor, at the same time 2 short blades appeared in her hands. Luo Feng stood where he was. "I don't believe that my Sector Lord's strength can't defeat you." Ai Fu roared. Immediately a formless world energy pressed down, simultaneously her internal world projection caused the entire space to become a black forest world. Ai Fu was almost like the lord of this black forest. The 2 short blades in Ai Fu's hands extended with her world energy, immediately becoming 2 huge black whips that wrapped around Luo Feng. In terms of origin law comprehension compared to the geniuses of the Virtual Universe Company, the gap is indeed huge. Luo Feng shook his head. Luo Feng didn't even want to use the Nanshan armament. How? In an instant, Luo Feng was like an absolute ferocious beast that rushed out, forcefully stepping on the trees and grass of the forest, charging straight towards the 2 black whips. Hoo. Luo Feng's hands were like flashes of lightning, bringing with them a fierce aura, immediately activating the universe's gold and space origin laws. The powerful origin laws infused into Luo Feng's claws that were as fast as lightning. With just a few swipes, the 2 black whips were broken from the middle. Claw technique. 3000 space. Indeed a genius, however. Ai Fu's eyes gleamed fiercely, the 2 blades in her hands immediately drew upon the strong world energy, forming endless leaves and vines that wrapped around Luo Feng. However, while Luo Feng broke the whips, his speed didn't decrease at all, continuing to rush towards Ai Fu, when the endless leaves and vines enveloped him. Luo Feng's expression was fierce, just like the huge horned lizard beast god from back then, waving his right claw to rip apart that huge palm. Rumble. The golden right claw was a few meters tall, bringing with it a beast roar, the space and gold origin law energy completely infused into the right claw, forming a solid right claw. It easily tore through the leaves and vines. How can this be? Ai Fu stared wide-eyed. The right claw immediately tore apart her entire body, fresh blood splattered and a life core flew out from her body, fleeing frantically. South. Luo Feng flashed and grabbed the life core. Just a little more world energy and world projection than me. However, in terms of origin law comprehension, it's much weaker than me. Luo Feng shook his head and crushed the life core. Babata closed the virtual universe network. Luo Feng said. The battle had already ended. This battle had given him 10% of his mission completion. It's a pity, out of the 4 targets I was given to kill personally, only one of them is on the capital planet. Luo Feng shook his head. Luo Feng suddenly rushed into the sky. Dylan, the 9th Army leader, Elder Si Fanchi and the other undyings all followed. Standing in mid-air. Luo Feng looked into the distance. With his domain lord level 9 vision, he could easily see 1,000 kilometers away from the interstellar battleships, large amounts of universe soldiers swooping down to kill the targets on the list. The entire capital planet was in a bloody massacre. Of course they were only killing targets. Your Majesty, look over there. The armored youth Kashna was shocked as he stared into the distance. Luo Feng turned to look too. A misty light lit up over 1,000 kilometers away, and at the same time the space around it rippled. Moreover, huge, ferocious silhouettes faintly appeared. Huge Golden Insectoid Warriors flew out, densely packed together. At the center of the large number of Golden Insectoid Warriors, there was a pyramid-shaped nest that was over 10 kilometers tall. That nest was filled with holes and all sorts of poisonous liquids and gases filled the air. Simultaneously, a glaring light pillar shot out from the many gold bug soldiers. In an instant, the entire capital planet became a golden ocean. Your Majesty, quickly flee. God Country Teleportation, it's the undying level mother nest. Seeing the countless silhouettes within the blurry light, Dylan grabbed Luo Feng and rushed towards the UNMO planet ship. The Emperor-level undying Si Fanchi, the 9th Army leader, Kashna and the others all rushed towards the ship. The capital star had become a sea of golden light pillars. Rumble. The entire planet immediately exploded, even the sturdiest core within was shattered. With just one attack, the large amounts of universe soldiers that were on the mission were either killed or injured. And the commander ship of this mission, the UNMO planet ship, was fleeing in panic.